this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing some equations and we're doing practical applications of equations. Practical applications usually just means wordy questions. So to do this lesson today, you will probably want to be feeling pretty confident with the equations that we've been looking at so far in this series. So 1-step, 2-step equations, pronumerals on both sides, equations with brackets, those kinds of things. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling pretty confident with those because you'll need all of those skills today to be doing these practical applications. So I've put some steps here to help us do these equations. To solve these equations, you need to choose a pronumeral. You'll have to write down the equation. Number 3, solve the equation. And number 4, write the solution. So we'll be working through those steps together. Let's have a look at question number 1. The sum of a certain number and 4 is then multiplied by 5. If the answer is 65, what is the number? Okay, so step number 1 is to choose a pronumeral. So let the number, because it says the sum of a certain number, that's what we're trying to find. Let the number be, let's call it n. Okay? Now, we want to write an equation using n as our pronumeral. Take what is written here a little bit at a time. The sum of a certain number and 4. So my certain number n is added to, because it says sum means add. I need to add with 4. The sum of my number and 4 is then multiplied by 5. So I want to multiply this by 5. I can't just go times 5 at the end here. That wouldn't work very well because it's only timesing the 4. To do that, I need to times everything here. So I need to put it in brackets and times it by 5. And normally when we're timesing brackets by something, we put the number out the front. So that means 5 times by n plus 4. Then it says, keep reading, if the answer, that means equals to. If the answer is 65, what is the number? All right, there is the equation. That's step 2 done. Step 3 is to solve the equation. So to do that, we have to expand the brackets. 5 times n is 5n. 5 times 4 is 20, is equal to 65. Then, moving these numbers away, we need to move the 20 first. Subtract 20. Okay, that gives me 5n is equal to 65 minus 20 is 45. Now to move this 5, I'll need to divide by 5, which means n is equal to 45 divided by 5, which is 9. Now in the equations that we've done in previous lessons, that would be where you would stop, n is equal to 9. But in this sentence up here, there was no mention of anything called an n. So in this instance, we need to do step number 4 here, which is to write the solution. Just a short little sentence to write the solution down. So I would say therefore, so these 3 little dots means therefore, the number is 9. So the number that we were asked about up here in the question, the number is 9. Okay, so anytime that you have a wordy question like this, it is good to give a short little sentence answer. Let's try again in question 2. If the sum of a number and 7 is multiplied by 3, the answer is the same as twice the number plus 4. Find the number. Alright, let's choose a pronumeral. So let the number be, now you can choose anything you want. Maybe just to be different this time, we'll call it x. X is a pretty common pronumeral to use for an equation. So if the sum of a number and 7, so the sum of my number and 7 is multiplied by 3. So I need all of that to be multiplied by 3. The answer, so equals, is the same as twice the number. So twice the number again, so there's another x, plus 4. Plus 4. Find the number. So I've completed step 1, I've chosen a pronumeral. I've completed step 2, I have found the equation. And now step 3 is to solve the equation. Now, I need to expand brackets first. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 7 is 21. Equals, nothing changes here. I'm just going to write this down again. 2x plus 4. Now I have pronumerals on both sides. 3x and 2x. 2x is smaller, so let's subtract it to move it across, to move it away from here. 3x minus 2x is 1x, or just x, don't need to write the 1. I still have the plus 21, and on this side I still have a 4. Now the last thing to do is to move this 21, so I need to subtract 21. X is by itself. 4 minus 21 is negative 17. So wordy question, I need to write my solution. Therefore, the number is negative 17. Question 3. Now this isn't really a wordy question, but it's not really a typical equation either. I've got some angles here. Now this is a straight line, and it's been divided up into 2 angles. One is 3a and one is 108. Now, the pronumeral is already there, so I don't need to choose a pronumeral. I'm already given an a as my pronumeral. I do know that a straight line, now if you've done a little bit of geometry, hopefully you know that a straight line like that is a total of 180 degrees. So those 2 angles there, if I add them together, should be equal to 180 degrees. So that's going to be my equation. I'm going to add 3a plus 108. Those 2 angles together make the straight line, which is 180 degrees. So there's the equation. Now I need to solve it. So I'll need to subtract 108. Okay, to move that. 3a equals 180 minus 108 is 72. And now just get rid of the 3. So I need to divide that by 3. Divide that by 3. Okay, a is by itself, and 72 divided by 3 is 24. Okay, so a is equal to 24. Now I don't really need to write a sentence for my answer here because a was something that I was given in the question, so it's okay to leave my answer with a as well. Okay, on the next page I have a couple more. Question 4, it says to find the value of the pronumeral. I have a triangle here, and I have down the bottom here, it says the area is equal to 24 centimeters squared. Now if I'm told that the area is 24, maybe I need to use the area of a triangle formula. So that is a equals half the base times the height. and I can substitute what I know into that equation. The area is 24 is equal to half times the base of my triangle is x minus 3 times by the height of my triangle, which is 6. Now, I have an equation, but I want to tidy it up a bit. I need to make it a little bit nicer than that. So what I can do is I can times the half with the 6, because it doesn't matter if all these things are times together, it doesn't matter the order that you times them in. So that will make it nicer. Half times 6, or half of 6, is 3. And I still have the 24 on this side. Now that's a much nicer equation, like what we're used to seeing. So let's solve that. We'll expand out the brackets. I have 24 equals 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times minus 3 is minus 9. So then I want to get the x by itself. So let's add the 9, add the 9. 24 plus 9 is 33 equals, and I still have 3x over here. Now 3 times x, I need to divide by 3 to get x by itself. 33 divided by 3 is 11. So 11 is equal to x, or x is equal to 11. We could also put centimeters because it is a length on our triangle up there. Alright, question number 5. 3 apples and 5 bananas cost $4.35. If an apple costs 25 cents more than a banana, find the cost of each type of fruit. So, I don't want to have some measurements in dollars and some measurements in cents. So I need to change this one. Instead of being $4.35, I'm going to change that to be 435 cents. Alright. Now, I have apples and bananas here. I only want one pronumeral in my question. So I'm going to what shall I choose? An apple costs 25 cents more than a banana. So let's say an apple, let apple be the letter X. Okay? So if an apple is X, an apple costs 25 cents more than a banana. So a banana is going to be 25 cents less than an apple. So a banana would be X minus 25. Okay, so an apple costs X, a banana is X minus 25. Now, 3 apples and 5 bananas cost 435 cents. So 3 apples would be 3x, and 5 bananas, I would have to have 5 lots of x minus 25. It costs, or is equal to, 435 cents. So I've made my equation. Expand out the brackets. 3x plus 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 25, might need a calculator for that. So let's bring that in here. 5 times 25 equals 125, which equals 435. Let's collect up over here. 3x plus 5x is 8x minus 125. Okay, I haven't changed any of those numbers there. So now I want to move everything away from this x to solve for x. First of all, I'll need to add 125 to both sides. 8x is equal to 435 plus 125 equals 560. Now I need to divide by 8 to get rid of that. So 560, I want to divide it by 8, is equal to 70. So I found x. Remember that x is an apple. An apple costs 70 cents. How much is a banana going to cost? Well, let's just do x minus 25 would be 70 minus 25. So a banana would cost 45 cents. So let's write our little conclusion, our wordy answer. Therefore, a banana costs 45 cents and an apple costs 70 cents. Alright, so that was getting quite tricky, wasn't it? It's quite a bit of working in there for that question. Okay, so there's just 2 questions here for you to practice today, because these can be quite long questions, so just 2 today. So pause the video, have a try of these 2 questions, and then turn it on again for the answers. Question 1. So it says use equations to solve. The result of adding 30 to a certain number is the same as multiplying the number by 6. Find the number. Okay, so first of all, we need to choose a pronumeral. Let the number be, let's use n. Let the number be n. The result of adding 30 to a number, alright, I want to add 30 to my number, so n plus 30 is the same as, that means equal to, multiplying the number by 6. Multiplying my number n by 6, that means 6 times n, or 6n. There's my equation. Now I can find the number. Let's solve the equation. So I have pronumerals on both sides. N and 6n. N is smaller, so let's subtract the n. Get rid of that. 30 is equal to 6n minus n is 5n. Now I just need to get rid of this 5. So divide by 5, divide by 5. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So we can write that the way around, n is equal to 6. That means, therefore, little conclusion, the number is 6. Okay, now we have a diagram for question 2. There's no area or anything else, I just have these measurements on, it's a rectangle. We've got these little lines here saying that those sides are the same and that those sides are the same. There's actually 2 different pronumerals in here. I have A's and I have B's. Well, what I can do, because it's a rectangle, the opposite sides have to be equal. So 2A must be equal to the A plus 3 because they have the little mark saying that those 2 sides are the same. So I can solve that little equation. I can subtract this A. 2A minus A is 1A, or just A, is equal to 3. Okay, there's one pronumeral solved already. And then I could say that these 2 sides are equal. They also have the marking, they have 2 lines. So 3B minus 4 is equal to B plus 6. pronumerals on both sides again. 3b and b. b is smaller, so let's subtract b. 3b subtract b is 2b minus 4 is equal to 6. Okay, two numbers to move away here. Let's add 4. So 2b is equal to 6 plus 4 is 10. And last thing, we need to divide by 2. So b is equal to 5. Okay, a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 5. I don't need to write a wordy solution because those pronumerals were in my question. Alright, those questions are getting a little bit trickier than some of the ones we've done in the past. Hopefully you're able to follow along okay. See if you can find some more questions and keep practicing, and I will see you next time. Bye!